You're at the right place at the right time. Some of you have big decisions to make in this room today. There's something you've been really wanting, something you've been wanting to transform on, something you've been wanting to change, and everyone's energy is here for transformation. And to be in a place at the right time for other people that are in transformation is huge. I mean, look at the world now. How much of us are just going through life, doing regular things, but all of us are here to expand, to be a different consciousness level, to allow ourselves to a different level. So let's awaken to your next level. This isn't from a textbook. This isn't from reading Think and Grow Rich 35 times, okay? This is from actual proven methods that I've used and 2,500 other people have. Raise your hand if you've been in a job, you're like, I don't really like this, yeah? So I was in a cubicle working 9 to 5 and I felt like my soul was dying. I was like, this can't be it. This can't be the promise of happiness and making things happen in my life. So after being an engineer, I decided to become an entrepreneur and find my way through business and opportunity. But I knew my soul was on fire with an idea. But everything started to be very, very difficult. All the prospects were saying no, business wasn't going well, I felt depressed, unhappy. How am I gonna get through this? What am I gonna do? Living alone in LA. But Bob Proctor taught the idea that if you shift your paradigm, you shift your subconscious, things can happen. It's not just about this physical world, it's about the energy world as well. It's about something deeper within us. You've ever felt something deeper within you? Yeah? Felt like there's something more for your life? That's why you're here. That's why we're all here. So I accepted that calling, even though it was very, very difficult, and zoomed to 10,000 a month in 58 days after that, and then 20,000 a month. And I had 50,000 a month a couple of years later, and 7 figures in a year, meeting people all around the world doing these great things, living in a dream home in a condo on Miami Beach. But before that, I was living on an air mattress in LA. No money, broke, depressed, down and out. How was I gonna manage, right? Impress the idea that this can work for anybody, even if you're in dire straits, even if things have been really low in your life, things can change. Knowing the quantum field is knowing your 4th dimensional self. Knowing that there's something bigger in reality than this physical place we see. How many of you want more money in your life? Yeah? Everyone should be raising their hands. Of course you want more money, right? That'd be great, because it's gonna magnify who you are even more, right? How about who wants more love in their life, yeah? More happiness, more goodness, yeah? All of those possibilities are right now in your quantum field. They don't have to be created. They're already there in the quantum field. They're already in that energy place. When everyone look at Tony's phone and say, hey, Tony, hey. How do phones work, right? We take it for granted that a phone works just because we know how to work it. The phone is wireless, yeah? There's no plugs unless you charge it. But we believe in it. I could call somebody in China or Europe, and near instantaneous, I can hear their voice or see them on video. How about radio waves, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth? We don't have to understand how these work, but they are invisible. Would you agree? Yeah? What if your mind was invisible, connecting all people and all things to you right now? What if it worked the same way? And quantum physics is showing that right now. It's a proven way. It's where collective consciousness sits. So you're not creating results at all. You're merely manifesting what's already in your field. And in this quantum field, you can have everything you want. Every self-help book that you've ever read, or every YouTube video you've ever listened into, every audio book comes down to this one thing. It can all be summarized into increasing your signal and creating it. Your signal is in the 4th dimensional time space, in the quantum field. You can't see it, but it's there. All people in this room are creating a signal right now. A signal to a certain amount of income, a signal to a certain lifestyle. You're all doing it right now. We're all doing it in the invisible side though, so you can't see it. Signal that says equals thought plus feeling. Whatever your dominant signal is, whatever your dominant thoughts are and your dominant feelings. And your signal is electrical and magnetic. It's information in the quantum field. Your mind is working by sending information and data to this collective consciousness. Again, not magic. It's just an idea of how our phones work. It's the same thing. How radios work, how TVs work. Are you starting to sense the more you think about it, the more real it becomes? The inner conversations you have right now can be created intentionally. So when you have your desire manifest in your life, people are going to congratulate you. I need a volunteer. Go ahead and stand up. Announce everyone your name again for everyone to know. Alana. okay? I want you to go ahead and close your eyes while you're standing up the best you can. And I want everyone to send her a congratulations in your mind right now. Congratulations, Alana, for being an international speaker. I want you to do this with your mind in the quantum field. And I want you to cheer her on as loud as possible in your mind. And send her good thoughts, send her love, gratitude, and goodness. So much gratitude, you feel alive inside. And now we're going to actually do it in person, okay? So everyone can have your eyes open. I'm going to start the music on. You're going to say, congratulations. Everyone just going to say it out loud. Go ahead and say, congratulations, Alana. And you're going to say, I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you.
Congratulations again on your success.
Congratulations.
I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and really breathe in. Soak in all of the energy of that. Be with it. Make it real in your mind as if it's already there. How real did it feel in your mind as we were going through?
I was like almost brought to tears.
Yeah. That joy is the activator, right? That gratefulness. All of your desires are just as real as we made it for Alana. But we're going to magnify the signal now. Okay, we're magnifying it. And as we're magnifying our signal, that's what draws to us. That's really what law of attraction is about. We hear a lot, like attracts like, do your affirmations, do your gratitude list. That all works, that's all part of it. But what draws it to you is the magnetic pole you're in. And the magnetic pole is what's coming into your life more and more. We're going to talk about increasing that signal in the middle of the drawing there. As we start increasing the signal, it comes a little closer in the 4D. See that second blue circle? And that comes a little closer and a little bit closer. And before you know it, you're halfway there. But the hardest part about this is, remember, everything above that blue line or that black line there is invisible. You don't know it's getting closer. This is when you doubt. This is when the fear comes in. That's like, Alana's feeling like, I am an international speaker. And then you come back to reality. You're like, wait a second, but I'm in a room right now, right? I'm not speaking. So then it feels like it wasn't real. It feels like there's some sort of worry or some sort of fear. What if it doesn't happen? What then? There's a great quote by Price Pritchett. He said, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, which means if you don't see it, it doesn't mean things aren't happening. Absence of evidence does not mean evidence of absence. Really important. Even though we can't see it, we gotta sense the faith of it. I'm not talking about religious faith, I'm talking about belief. I'm talking about there's gotta be something that motivates you to stay in the signal, yeah? It keeps coming closer and closer to the 3D world. And it's so close. And some of you are this close to a massive breakthrough in income and love and goodness and whatever you're wanting in this life. You're this close, but not quite there. And that's what we're gonna finalize today. Would you be okay with that? Yeah? Okay, let's finalize it. Let's complete it. If I feel it and believe it to be true, it starts to influence my subconscious mind, but I have to feel it. If I don't feel it to be true, it's not gonna happen. Finding a way to feel better now before things change. And that's hard to do. How do I feel like a millionaire if I'm not a millionaire, or I've never been one, right? How do I feel happy when I'm down? I'm so close, I feel it, it's right here, but it's not physically. What we need to understand is what's called the bridge of events. The bridge of events is the coincidence, the breakthroughs, the action, synchronicities, the divine timings. These synchronicities happen all the time. You're never gonna guess on how everything's going to unfold, yeah? But things like that can happen. The bridge of events is what you do see on the physical world. Somebody told you about this workshop, right? You're like, oh, I'm here, right? That's a synchronicity. Moving towards my goals and learning and expanding. It's another synchronicity. And another one. And another one. And another one. You're still not there though. That's the crazy part about this. You still don't see your goal accomplished. You still don't see your intention manifested. But you see the little things popping up. And then, before you know it, as you've remained in faith with your assumption that this is yours, and believing it, and pouring your energy into it, and taking inspired action, you've got it. That moment, you've already lived. It's a champion's mindset. You've already lived being the champion. You hear it with athletes all the time. They've already been there at the Super Bowl. They've already won the World Series. They've already done the thing. You can watch on YouTube, different people all the time, celebrities saying, I've already been there. But they lived it so much that it had to become real. And that's the moment. Crazy part about it, when you got this, it's actually not even a hallelujah moment. Because once you've got it, you're like, it's not a big deal. I've already lived it for so long. I already knew. When I had my first big day as a business owner and I had my first 7-figure year, I lived it so much that it was like, okay, thank you. Thanks. But it wasn't a celebration. It wasn't something abnormal. It wasn't something crazy, because my identity already had become it so much, yeah? And yes, action is a part of the process. That's such a big question in law of attraction. Like, yeah, if I imagine it, do I just have like win $1 million in a lottery? That would be nice, right? But you should probably buy the ticket, or at least receive the ticket, yeah? It could take a lot of action. We've all done that before, grind and hustle. And 20 years later, you're in about the same spot. Has anybody else been there? At least like maybe 2 years later, you did a lot of action, yeah? At certain points, you may need to change direction. And that's important that you remain flexible in the direction changing. So even though times will be a little bit challenging for you, or you're not able to stay persistent, write down the word, have the courage. You go through the fear and the darkness, the treasure is there. It always is. Every day you can have on a note card, like a goal card, like an intention card. My goal today is to have my signal be natural to my desires. So we're trying to have you and your soul go like this. Because when that happens, you feel your wholeness, you feel peace, you feel happiness. Would anybody else be open to that? More peace, more wholeness? Yeah? What you saw is real. It'll take time to get here. It will. That's okay to say it loud. But the more actions you do, the more inspiration you take, the more you allow your feeling to carry in your body from here on out, the more it gets closer to you as you magnetize towards it.